living free, living on the road, living out of an RV. Could be a dream, but it also could be a trap if you don't plan and research and think about what the lifestyle is really going to look like. So in this video, I want to share with you 3 things that you should consider before buying an RV. Number 1, where are you going to park it? Home is where you park when you own an RV. And finding a place to park it may not be as simple or as cheap as you think. Certainly, there are some establishments like the Walmarts, the Crackle Barrels, the different places you can park for free for one night. But one night, 2 night, you're not making a plan to live in a parking lot the rest of your life. If you are, it's something that, you have to think about, is that really your plan? So if you plan on having some campground stays, if you plan on going to RV parks, you need to go there, okay, and physically walk around the parks, know the prices, because that's your home. Your home's on wheels. You don't like your neighbors. You don't like the park. You don't like the campground. You don't like the area. You can start your car and go, but where are you going to go? So just keep in mind, okay, when you buy an RV, you are making a big investment in a lifestyle. And the number one consideration to that lifestyle is, where do you plan on parking it? How much is it going to cost? And what does that do to your daily routine waking up in the areas that you will park it? Because your daily routine is your life. And when you uproot your life to live on the road, you are uprooting your daily routine, thus changing your life. Maybe for the better, maybe for the worst. The road is somewhat of a transitory, a transitional, a period of your life where you're maybe exploring. But something to consider. The number 2 thing you need to consider, okay, is financial repercussions. Okay. On average, an RV is going to go down in value. Certainly in the past couple of years, we saw the not average prices actually stay the same or go up for some RVs due to pandemic that we faced at the time I made this video. But you have to give thought if you're going to spend $20, $30, $40, $100,000 plus. You have to include the cost of your tow vehicle and the travel trailer, or you have to include the cost of the motorhome, and you have to include the cost of fuel, and you have to budget for some repairs at some point. And it is a big chunk of money. And if you have the money to spend and you're willing to accept some level of depreciation, if you're willing to accept that it's not just free and easy, then it's not a bad thing. But you really have to look at the numbers. Many motorhomes that are above $50,000 are financed for 20 years. And a lot of times with what is advertised as the monthly price considers that you put 20% down or more. So certainly there's not a hard rule. Remember, when it comes to monthly payments, you can make your monthly payment anything. Simply by putting down more or less, depending on what they'll accept, and that will fluctuate your payment. Also, the length of the payment. A regular car is 7 years on average. The max they'll spend out a loan payment, and so a motorhome, usually above 20,000, they'll do up to 20 years. A motorhome above 50,000, they'll do up to 20 years. A travel trailer, sometimes they'll do between 10 and 15 years. So these are a big chunk of your life. Something to consider with regards to financing. The third, and maybe the most important thing you should consider when getting on the road, is, what does it look like when you get off the road? For many people, they may sell their house and buy an RV. Nothing wrong with that. For some people, they may keep their house and keep an RV. This may not apply. But for those who are going to live full-time in their RV and not have a home base, what does it look like down the road when you may need to get off the road? When you may need to settle down? Maybe you can't drive anymore. Maybe you have a sickness or illness, or maybe you're just burnt out on the road. Will you live the rest of your life in an RV park? You probably will not live the rest of your life in a campground, because usually you got to move every couple of weeks. Will you rent a RV lot? Will you buy a piece of property? Will you be able to keep up with inflation with your other investments so that at the time you're ready to get off the road, you have the financial capacity to buy something? Will you inherit money so you can take the risk? Will you just rent whatever you can afford and deal with it then? It doesn't mean it should scare you, but it's something that you should consider. That's all. Consider the third and final thing before buying an RV. What's it going to look like when you're done RVing? Are you at least giving some thought, some planning, some research into that? Because the time comes for everything. But with all that being said, life is meant to be lived, not to live like you're 80 when you're 40, not meant to never take chances, not meant to ever explore. Life is meant to be lived, not sitting in your house watching other people live. But you have to calculate the cost. You have to evaluate the risk. You have to give some thought into your life. And that's all this video is meant to do. You always do whatever you feel is best for you, as we all do in life. And I thank you for watching. If this video helped, I appreciate if you click the thumbs up. You want to support the channel, click the blue join button. Check out my playlist, which has RVs, RV parks, campgrounds, thousands of free videos about a variety of topics. Leave a comment below. Thank you again for watching. Keep showing up. I'll see you next video.